Your peace became your protest, and your survival, your clean, dignified survival, became their biggest disappointment and your loudest statement. Now they're left confused, exposed, and scrambling to figure out how you made it through without losing your mind. And deep down, they respect you for it, even if they'll never say it out loud. Because truthfully, you didn't just win. You made every disgusting move they made look like a desperate cry for help. And that is how you outsmarted filth without ever getting stained. Number two, you took power without stealing it. That's what terrifies and impresses them. You took power without stealing it. That's what's got people talking. In a world where most people claw, lie, gossip, and step on others just to feel important, you flipped the whole script. You didn't have to manipulate anyone, throw shade, or cut corners to rise. You didn't hustle for attention or beg people to believe in you. You just kept showing up as yourself. And suddenly you became the one everyone was looking at. And that's what's really unsettling them. You didn't play dirty, and yet you're winning. You didn't trade your soul for status, and yet you've got influence. That's not normal in their world. That's unheard of. You didn't climb your way up by sabotaging others. You were called up because your energy couldn't be ignored anymore. What makes it even more powerful is that you didn't even try to impress them. You weren't performing. You were just being consistent, truthful, and real, and people started noticing, even the ones who pretended they didn't see you, especially the ones who wanted to see you fail. They watched you rise without selling out, and that's what shook them to their core, because it exposed just how much they had to scheme, just to stay relevant. While you were just minding your business and evolving, you didn't take shortcuts. You took responsibility. You weren't loud, but you were deliberate. You knew your value even when others tried to make you question it. And now, the same people who overlooked you are acting like they've always respected you. The ones who talk behind your back are quoting your words. The ones who tried to dim your light are now squinting under its glow. You didn't just gain power, you redefined it. You proved that real authority isn't taken, it's earned through integrity. And the irony, the very people who once thought they were above you are now looking up to you. Because while they were chasing clout, you were building character. And that kind of power can't be faked, bought, or borrowed. It's built. And you built it the hard way, the honest way. And that's why they're impressed, quietly, jealously, reluctantly, but impressed nonetheless. Number three, you mastered the art of seeing the trash and still refusing to smell like it. You saw the mess, the lies, the bitterness, the gossip, and you still refused to let it shape you. That's what made your response so powerful. You didn't pretend it wasn't nasty. You didn't sugarcoat it. You just made a decision. I'm not going to wear what they threw at me, and that decision, it set you apart. Because most people don't even realize how quickly they start smelling like the very situations they're trying to escape. You were surrounded by emotional sewage, backstabbing, betrayal, fake concern, and you never once let it define your behavior. That takes strength most people can't even comprehend. It's easy to become what you're exposed to. It's easy to throw back what's thrown at you. But you knew who you were. And more importantly, you knew who you weren't. You could have fought dirty. You could have matched energy. You had receipts. You had stories that could have wrecked reputations. But instead, you took your dignity and walked right through the storm without stooping to their level. That wasn't weakness. That was wisdom. That was discipline. That was knowing your soul mattered more than temporary satisfaction, and now people are left wondering how you didn't crack, how you didn't become bitter, how you didn't let the filth cling to your personality. It's because you made the conscious choice to rise without revenge, to protect your spirit while everything around you was trying to pull you into emotional chaos. That's rare. That's why they're whispering about you. Because deep down they know they wouldn't have handled it the same way. They would have snapped, they would have exposed everybody, they would have drowned in that filth. But you didn't just rise, you stayed clean in the process. And that's what's unforgettable. People don't just remember what you said or did. They remember how you carried yourself when everything around you was designed to make you ugly. You stayed beautiful, not perfect, but pure. And now your presence alone makes people rethink how they handle their own situations. That's power, and it didn't come from screaming. It came from not letting the dirt define you. Number four, you turned their plot into a platform without seeking revenge. They thought they had you cornered. They built the perfect setup, Lies crafted to trigger you, situations engineered to break you, and people positioned to push you just far enough to explode. They wanted a reaction they could use against you, something loud, emotional, unhinged. That would have made their smear campaign complete. All they needed was one outburst, one impulsive move, and they could label you unstable for life. But you didn't give them the satisfaction. You saw the bait and walked right past it. You let them talk. You let them spin their stories. You let them believe they were in control. All the while you were working in silence, gathering wisdom, getting stronger. Instead of fighting their fire with fire, you built something out of the ashes, something they never expected, a platform. They created drama. You turned it into direction. They tried to block your path, and you turned their barricades into stepping stones. That's the part that burns them the most. Not only did you survive what they threw at you, you used it. Their plan didn't just fail. It backfired because now, the very thing they tried to use to destroy you is part of the reason people are drawn to you. And the best part, you never had to play dirty. You didn't need to expose anybody. You didn't need to retaliate or send shots online. You let your growth do the talking. You let your elevation become your evidence. Your focus became your revenge. People are inspired by you now, not because you were perfect, but because you didn't let the worst parts of your story define you. You flipped the whole narrative. And you didn't do it out of spite. You did it out of purpose. That's what makes your story undeniable. You didn't just walk through fire.